Now, before I get into the real topic of the video, I want to let you know that I don't hate Naruto. It's honestly one of my favorite series, so much so that I'm willing to read Boruto unironically. Yes, Boruto, but that's a topic for another day. I just want to lay down the groundwork that Naruto has many great things going for it. The fact that it's mostly about ninjas, so it's automatically cool, and the abilities and fights are still brought up to this day after they've been finished for a decade or more. Like Kiden and Flying Raijin, the two coolest techniques in the entire series, nothing else comes close. And come on now, Gaara versus Rock Lee, Sasuke versus Itachi, Naruto versus Pain, battles that will forever be talked about of being the definition of the shit. And the characters in those fights are great enough that anyone can write an essay about them alone. So Naruto has some really wicked shit that to this day is still awesome. However, no series is exactly flawless, and Naruto has a fair share of problems that many might know. Again, I love this series, but that doesn't mean I'm going to blindly acknowledge everything being perfect from start to finish. If you enjoy something a lot, then you shouldn't be afraid to say what issues you do have with it. And the Naruto fanbase is definitely vocal on what problems they have with it. I've heard it all pretty much. From the Pain arc, things went downhill mostly, and by that point, the battles weren't about ninjas anymore really, just throwing explosions at each other. There are a handful of plot holes or things that really don't make any sense for the overall story, and questionable narrative decisions. And then there's no real balance on characters getting true proper screen time. By the time of the War arc, if you didn't have a Sharingan, or a Tail Beast, or a Might Guy, then you really didn't matter to the story anymore. It's no real secret that a lot of characters get shafted, or don't have any moments for their character to shine. And I'm mostly talking about the Konoha 11. Not counting Team 7, right now. Yeah, there's a few that get their justice, like Rock Lee and Neji for a bit, and Shikamaru gets the most development out of these guys, but these other characters don't really have the same level of development as the aforementioned, and some could say this even applies to the main heroine of the series, Sakura Haruno. Over the many years to come as Naruto was airing as an anime and being published as a manga, there was definitely a wave, or, no, that might be a little too light, a tsunami of Sakura haters. Just people who cannot stand her character, with the most famous line of all, Sakura is useless. Now, I don't hate Sakura. I don't mind her. Though I can understand where the disdain towards her comes from, and that might just be from one of the fact that you constantly have to see her. As in, from what I said before, main heroine. She's part of Team 7, the main characters of the series. Though, what did I say earlier? If you weren't these guys, you really didn't get a big moment to shine compared to them. It would just fall flat. Which also started another wave of being that Kishimoto can't write female characters. So this just wouldn't apply to Sakura, but to Hinata, Ino, Tenten, and more. And of course, I just went with that idea. Though not too long ago, I started thinking about that again, mainly from what someone said. Tsunade is just Sakura, but with tits, and no one really complains. That's somewhat true, or at least she doesn't get the same amount of hate that Sakura gets. Why though? If Kishimoto is bad at writing female characters as many say, and he's even admitted, then why is Tsunade an exception? So this will come down to two things. Mainly one, but the possibility of another. Back to Tsunade. Yeah, a lot of people like her for obvious reasons, but then, story-wise, people don't mind her. She's pretty cool. She was the Hokage for most of the series, has insane, raw, pure strength, very intelligent from the fact that she's one of, if not the best medical ninja during the story. Combine all that, and you get someone that even Madara had to admit and say, huh, not bad. Like, she got her body ripped in half and was still alive. Just barely. What makes her different, though? Well, it might be from the fact that she didn't have any romantic attachment to any other character. I know most of her flashbacks have to deal with her losing loved ones. What I'm saying is that she ain't chasing after a man. And that's what a good portion of Sakura's character was about. She was immediately introduced of having a crush on Sasuke, and that's what she bases most of her actions off of. However, if we were to take that away, what do we get? Well, we get one moment that everyone can universally agree was the best Sakura moment. Her tag team fight with Lady Chiyo against Sasori. I mean, look at this. It's pretty kick-ass. It's a very straightforward battle versus one of the Akatsuki, who in this case happens to be the best puppet master in the world, and she had the honor to fight this dude and win. You want to know why this works? This fight really has nothing to do with Sakura's unrequited love towards Sasuke. It's all about stopping the Akatsuki and saving Gaara. So maybe from this perspective, it's not that Kishimoto is bad at writing female characters, it's that he can't write romance without it being odd or questionable. Because if he was truly bad, then why does Konan exist? If you know anything, Konan's the best female character from Naruto, and one of my favorite characters from the series. Has a very nice design, robe or no robe, a unique fighting style that nobody else uses, and is very tactical and powerful enough to almost kill the main antagonist of the story. And her death is rather heartbreaking, I would say. But even though I say that, she didn't win her fight, because as much as I don't want to say it this way, the story demands the antagonist faces the protagonist by the end, so Obito got to live. It's the same reason why Doppio won against Risotto, and why Blackbeard didn't die from Magellan's poison. That doesn't mean the fight was boring or takes anything away from Konan. Konan as well really didn't have any real romantic relationship during the main story, that is, or a better way of putting it, is that it wasn't the focus of her character. The same thing for Tamari, another one of my favorites. Yeah, sure, she has something for Shikamaru, but that's not the core of her character. Okay, what else could it be then? Well, the final aspect could be that of side character syndrome, which just doesn't exclusively apply to female characters. Kiba doesn't get anything interesting from him. I still don't know much about Shino. Sai could use a little bit more. And by technicality, Neji and Rock Lee suffered the most. They were constantly hyped up from everyone, but the second that Shippuden happened, we don't get to see that anymore, and that's a tragedy. So this idea of Kishimoto can't write female characters might not be entirely the case, because there's a good number of awesome ones. However, I would be lying in saying that they get all the attention in the story, but it also applies to a good number of male characters. Not all of them are well developed, though with that in mind still, the guys still take up a majority of the story, and you know what? Honestly, this time, I don't have a definitive answer I could go to. I could go on and on from every opposing side imaginable, but I think you guys get the point. I'll just end it here, because everyone has their own answer on this matter, and it could just go on forever. I'll at least say this. Again, I don't hate Naruto as a story. Yeah, sure, there were some bumps, quite a number of them, but that's just how it is. And then characters like Sakura or just the female characters not getting developed as much, it doesn't bother me that to the point where I'm not getting any sleep at night. It is what it is, so that's just what happens. And I don't even hate Sakura. And I think that should be the end of the video here. Do you guys think that Kishimoto really can't write female characters? Because I personally don't think so, because, you know, we got Tsunade, Konan, Tamari. I loved Anko in the beginning, but, you know, again, she kind of got shafted. But once again, that applies to male characters as well. Some of them were hyped up as well, like Neji and Rock Lee, but they just kind of got pushed to the side for the Akatsuki and tailed beasts and everything, and more Sharingan problems. So yeah, I don't want to say it's complicated, but yeah, it's kind of hard to find a right answer, I would say so. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Try not to start a war down there, because I know I said this is a little bit more of a questionable subject. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know what to do with all the links that I provide and everything with swords. Stay safe out there. Thank you for watching. That's greatly appreciated, of course. Have a great day, have a great night, and everything else, you know what to do.